Hey, welcome back to the Run Reb channel. And today we're discussing something that I noticed after we come back from our trip to Florida. It's a warm day, bright, sunny day. I had activity on a few of my hives on the yard, and two hives had no activity. And guess what? Yep, you guessed it. No bees. I did find the queens in both of them, so that's a good thing. Let me get you back here a little bit. All right. Now I got one box sitting on the ground. As you can see, they had plenty of nectar and pollen. I actually broke this. I'll melt this down, and a lot of pollen, good pollen. And we did have a pollen patty in there to kind of promote laying for the queens. Had it stuck on top of the frame. But we had honey. Good heavy frame of nectar and honey right there. But guess what we're missing? No cap brood. Okay. So, before we start with the colony collapse disease stuff that a lot of people are going to say happened, I did check the bottom boards with my jeweler's glasses. Very few mites, a few, not many. I just didn't have the numbers in this colony or the other colony to keep them warm. We had some really cold nights, and the other colonies around are doing great. So, you know, I went into wintertime with 8 colonies. I've already lost 2. That's fine. Do not get upset about this. Please, if you're starting into beekeeping and you lose a colony this year, do not get upset about it. It happens, you know. And dang it. There's really nothing you can do. It was too late in the year to move frames of brood over. Why would you want to take a hive out and brood out of a hive that's struggling through the winter time also to bump up another one? There's no sense in it. You know, there's going to be people say, oh, they starved. No, they didn't starve. They had feeders. They had everything. They just didn't have the numbers to keep the hive bodies warm. And that's all it was a single. And, you know, that's the way it goes. It's just like this. The wax has gotten brittle. You know, you can see this was loaded with honey and pollen, but there's nothing I can do with it, you know. So I will save this for next year, springtime. This will make excellent sources for when I do splits, things of that nature. I'll have honey reserves to feed the young hives when I do the splits, or I may buy some packages this year. I don't know. However, this is one handy thing to have. When I pulled my bottom board, there's very few bees on here. I found one wax moth larva in both hives. And like I said, I've got the queens over in a jar of alcohol right there. And I might try to crush them and make some scent out of it for my swarm traps. I'm really not a big proponent on that. I don't really buy into that, but that's that. Okay. So this wintertime, if you lose a few hives, please don't get discouraged by that fact. It happens to all of us. My father was commenting about it this year, that if I could get through the wintertime, I started in the wintertime with 8 hives. If I could leave with at least 5 decent hives intact, I'd be doing good. With the drought that hit the south this year, the nectar flow was kind of off, the pollen was limited, plants were dying. You know, they just didn't have the rain. They couldn't keep their numbers up based on the food, and you can't constantly keep feeding them like that. It sets off robbing issues, or it did for me. And we got bees flying around right now. There's one coming out to check everything out. With the wax that's laying on the table right there, I'll probably just put that in a small little crock pot, melt it down, and I will use that to brush onto my plastic frames foundation this year for a starter for the bees. But you know, just an update on winter beekeeping. Things like this happen. It's a normal part. It's not colony collapse disease. It's just they didn't have the numbers. The queens just quit laying, and it was my fault. I knew they weren't laying good, but there's nothing you can do about it that late in the year. You know, just cut your losses and just think on the bright side. When you get dealt lemons, make lemonade. I've got plenty of wax right now that I can start my new colonies out in come springtime. So, the running rail, I don't know what to say. You win some, you lose some, and that's about the way it goes in life. Same way in beekeeping. Nobody's going to be perfect on it. Nobody's going to be an expert, or they'd be billionaires by now, because nobody can figure them out. Not completely. So hit like, subscribe, and for the people that subscribe to the channel so far, I really appreciate it. I think we're up over 100 subscribers now, and that's great. We're a young channel. And here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do some woodworking videos. Might build some boxes. I may do some craft videos. I don't know. Whatever the comments want, I'll do. We are going to start prepping up for springtime and gardening here in a couple of weeks. So check back for the videos on that. But until next time, this is Running Reb out. And I'm going to get these boxes put in the storage building behind me and seal them up, so the wax moths don't get in there and destroy the frames. But until then, talk to y'all later.